Hello, are we on? Yes, we are on. Hey guys, I'm so tired today. So if I look a bit disheveled and a bit tired, it's because I am. So please accept my apologies. It's just been like, there's been so much going on. You know, we're buying this house at the moment and it's like, I already knew this from previous times, but like I forgot quite how stressful buying a house is. And yeah, so that's that going on. And I went to bed last night and I didn't have like the best night's sleep because I was like thinking about it. I need to move this. I went for lunch with my friend the other day and we went to our favourite restaurant, which is in central London. It's called Rocker and it's like an Asian restaurant. It's our favourite. And we had like a little bit too much wine at lunch. Then we went shopping, which is a dangerous mix. And it's one of my nieces and one of my nephew's birthdays this weekend. And we go into Hamleys, which is like the toy shop on Regent Street. This isn't even it, okay? I've got another bag over there full of toys. So we'd had like a couple of glasses of wine and I said to my friend, I want to go and get some stuff for them. We didn't even have a basket. We were pulling things off the shelf and trying to carry them all. And then we got to the till and I have spent hundreds. Like I showed my mum yesterday and my mum was horrified. She was like, you've got them how much? That's Christmas as well. And I was like, yeah, I know. But I got them things like a little dog. I got so much. What is this? Sylvanian families. Who remembers that? And then look at this. Look at this. Sorry, I'll be quick showing you this. Isn't that sweet? Sylvanian families as well. Like, I've got bagfuls of it. Bagfuls. And that was just here because I need to wrap it because it's one of their birthday parties tomorrow. Anyway, look, let's get back to it. Why are so many luxury YouTubers quitting? And when I say quitting, I don't necessarily mean that they've turned their back on their channel altogether. I mean that they've potentially pivoted into a different niche. Now, I need to thank another YouTuber for this video idea. Wild Unfiltered. If you haven't heard of her, I'm going to link to her below. She is fantastic. She does really good videos. I'll link to her in my description. Go and say hi from me in her comments if you go and check her out. I will link to her video on this exact topic. So she did a video and I was Wild Unfiltered. I was actually watching your video as I was getting ready one morning and I was like, this is so good. And the topic is about why it seems so many luxury creators, actually not just on YouTube, although it does seem to be on YouTube a lot, why so many are quitting talking about luxury and they're doing other things or they've quit altogether. Like I can think of a few content creators that I watch and my favourite content creators are the small channels, like Gwenny. Gwenny, Wild Unfiltered. There are so, like, and I can think of so many of you. Andre. Oh my God, my mind is literally going. I can see your faces, but I can't think of your names right now. But there are so many of you that I watch on the regular and I have you on in the background just while I'm like having a tidy up or doing my makeup or doing my hair one day. And your video came up and you were talking about various different creators and your kind of thoughts on why this could be. So I thought I'm going to do a reaction video and I'm going to talk about why I think maybe people have changed direction and also why I, to a certain degree, have changed direction. Okay, so the first thing, I've got a list in my notepad. The first thing, and I wonder whether it's because the world right now is changed. It's a bit of a, well, it's a nightmare out there. It's a scary nightmare. So to me, I personally feel as though luxury is not important to me right now. I'm more focused on what's going on around me. But if I rewind even before that, so for me, I would say Wild Unfiltered, any others of you who are watching, let me know what you think. I think luxury content on YouTube had its day, had its peak in 2019 going into 2020. 2019, just before lockdown, I was making videos I think they were quite boring, but they were pulling in loads of views. And it was just, you know, my sort of personal views on a bag and, you know, best crossbody, best top handle, best and worst, like all of that kind of thing. That really worked back then. And then, of course, you had COVID 2020, where everyone was sort of climbing the walls in lockdowns. And the appetite for luxury went really big. And like from myself, but also from a lot of you guys who watch, you were like, oh my God, like I'm going to treat myself to a bag when I get out of lockdown, because the money that I've saved, not eating out, not traveling, not being able to leave the house, I'm going to put that towards a nice bag for myself or a pair of shoes or whatever. And I saw a steady decline in views on luxury content myself on my channel, starting in very early 2022, probably the end of 2021. So just when things were starting to go back to normal. And do you know what else coincided with that? Think about it. What happened? What happened after 2019 through 2020? Crazy price hikes. Like when I say crazy price hikes, I mean like that's a not even touching the surface. If you remember in 2020 alone, Chanel, if I take them as an example, they had price rises combined of 31% across various products. So it would be like, for example, like the classic flat would go up, I don't know, I'm guessing like 10%, and the boy would go up 2%. And if you add all of that together, 31% was what it was totaling up to. Then they did the same thing in 2021. It was like another whopping 30% across the board. And I had you guys saying to me, I used to be like a big customer, not just of Chanel. Chanel weren't the only ones doing it. Louis Vuitton, Dior were doing it on the stealth mode, because I remember Dior putting up their prices just as lockdown ended in the summer of 2020. And it went under the radar and no one spoke about it because no one knew about it. But the Chanel price rises were so drastic that everyone noticed. That happened. And I always thought to myself, and I still think it now, and I could be really wrong, but I think the drop in interest in luxury happened when everything got so expensive that it wasn't worth how much it is now. That's the crucial thing. To me, this is as a content creator, I can tell you, if I did even a luxury haul now, luxury hauls, I don't really do many of them anymore, but they don't pull the views that they used to for me. Instead, what I see you guys are watching from me is stuff that's not to do with luxury. It's to do with life or growing up, you know, having got older and priorities changing. It's not to do with luxury. And when I go back to luxury, although I do have like you guys who are like my hardcore viewers who are here for luxury, although you are there, of course you are, and you watch, actually the views on luxury videos are a great deal less than they are on my other types of videos now, and they're a great deal less than they are compared to videos in the past. Like, I'll give you an example. I could do, in 2019, if I made a video that was about a bag, a haul, I could pull upwards of 30,000 views overnight. And I didn't have a very big channel back then. Now, if I do a luxury video, I could scrape 10k views, not many at all. And I think that there is a direct correlation between people not being interested in luxury anymore for whatever reason. Could be the state of the world and it doesn't feel important. Could be the price of everything is unrealistic and everyone's like, do you know what, I'm done with that, giving you my hard-earned money for something that's, we all know with that, you know, the Dior scandal where it came out that bag cost, what was it, $53 to make, and they're selling it for over 2k. I think that was another nail in the coffin because it lifted the lid on exactly how much this stuff is actually costing these brands to make. It's costing them, like, that bag wasn't even $100 to make. And it's insulting. And I can't deny the Dior scandal really put me off Dior. And I've always been like a massive Dior customer, and I still love my Dior pieces. Dior still catches my eye, but I felt when they had the data breach, and they lost all of our details. And then when it came out that they were using this particular factory in Italy, not treating the workers nicely and paying a pittance for bags that cost thousands, those three things together combined to make me go, ooh, I don't want to shop from you anymore. And I'm well aware that this will be commonplace, you know, what Dior were doing. Loads of other brands will be doing it as well. We just don't know about it. The other big thing that I think, and for any of you watching who are Gen Z, or maybe you are watching and you have Gen Z kids or grandkids, let me know what you think. But I've seen so many articles saying that Gen Z are not into luxury, not the way millennials, Gen X and baby boomers are. This is what I've heard. I have heard that Gen Z are literally, to a degree, turning their back on it. They're into other brands, like they love Coach, apparently. Like, I love Coach as well, but apparently, like, Coach is a big one. Oh my God, what was the other brand I heard of? Like, they're into, like, more well-priced brands that aren't ripping them off. And I think that Gen Z are a lot more ethical and a lot more savvy with money. And I think with us millennials, like when I think about myself, when I was growing up as a teenager, I was surrounded by celebrities carrying like an IT designer bag, and it made me want one. I don't think Gen Z really have that. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm like so out of touch with this, but I don't see that the iconic designer bag being a thing now like it used to be in the 2000s. You know, when you had like Paris Hilton with her Murakami Louis Vuitton bag and it made you really want it. You don't really see that so much now. Like, I think that a lot of celebrities now are some of them are more toned down, and they carry niche designer bags from brands you hadn't heard of to try and help these smaller businesses. So I think Gen Z, the up and coming audience. Also, another thing, Gen Z, how many Gen Zs are watching YouTube? They're on TikTok. So I think that's another thing as well, is a lot of our audiences who once watched, say, 10 years ago, have now grown up. Maybe they've got families, or they've got like a whole different quality of life. Their priorities have changed. What they would once have spent on a designer bag, maybe now they're spending on like a pushchair for their child, or a new home, or a new bathroom, or clothes for their kids. They're not spending it necessarily on designer goods. So, okay, for me, what changed? I reached a point where I think it was 2023 was the first time I came on here and said to you all, I feel bored of luxury. I felt like I was putting combination of things. First of all, I couldn't be bothered to go shopping anymore because I felt that things were too expensive for what they were, and I didn't want to be ripped off. Secondly, the Dior scandal put me off Dior, and you know Dior was always the place that I was primarily in, so I stopped shopping there. And I felt in myself like I reached this point, like it was like a plateau where I just looked at all of the stuff I've got in the house and I realised how much in excess I have. And there are still bags that catch my eye now that I will buy, but I'm not finding, a lot of the time I look at a bag, I'm like, oh my God, I want it. And then I'm like, take a minute now. Do you have anything that looks like it? And normally I do. Normally I think about it and I'm like, oh, actually, I've got a bag that I haven't seen for years. It's at the back of my wardrobe, but it's that vibe. I don't need to buy another one. And I think this is another thing as well, is that a lot of designer bags to me got boring. Like, I've got like 5 Lady Dior's. I don't need any more. I'm so lucky I bought them all years ago when they cost a lot less. Like, I've got 3 classic flaps. I've got bags coming out of my ears. Like, I don't need any more. So that was the first thing. But also it was you guys. I was listening to you guys. And what you were telling me through the views is that you're not interested anymore in hearing about luxury and seeing me unbox a load of stuff. You're not interested in it anymore. And I like to keep my finger on the pulse with my channel. And I want to give you what you want. I want to talk to you more about like the home we're buying at the moment and how I'm going to decorate it and vlog that as a DIY bunch of videos and turn it into a series and show you where I'm getting the furniture from and the vibe that I'm going for, and I don't know, the car that I end up buying in the future, and what's going on with my life, and talking to you about work, and talking to you, do you see what I mean? Talking to you about other stuff that isn't going shopping all the time. And so I think there could be an element of this with other people. I think as well, people's lives are really busy. And as I've said, YouTube videos, to plan an idea, to sit down to film the idea, to film cutaway shots, to go away and edit that, can take a long time. And I know of YouTubers, like I think Gwenny is one. Wild Unfiltered was saying this. Gwenny, I was like, why haven't I seen Gwenny online for a while? She's so busy with her work apparently, and like her home, that she doesn't have the time. And this is what I'm saying, like a lot of us, it takes time to make these videos, and you have to have that time. And I think this is why when I had a full-time job, I was so stressed, because I was trying to fit a full-time job in with YouTube. And YouTube, I know it looks like a walk in the park. Some videos are, you know, like when you just sit down and you chat, they're easier to make. You still got to edit them, but they're easier to make than those videos that are more complex. But even so, they still will take you the best part of one day. For me, a basic video, start to finish, planning, filming, editing, then the uploading bit, which can take a while. It's like a day. It's weird. Until you do it, you kind of don't really understand it. But that's just how I took it anyway, because I'm like really passionate about my channel and about making sure you all get what you enjoy watching. Is there anything else? I think that's like the main things, you know, I'm just looking on my list still. I think that's like the main things that I can think of about why others may have pulled back from luxury. I think it's priorities, getting older, work commitments, you know, if you've got other stuff going on in your life, everything's got too expensive and it's not worth it. And I think we can all see from the views to varying degrees that people aren't really vibing with luxury content anymore. I think it had its day. And there's still an interest. I'm not saying there isn't. And there are some channels flying high with it. But I'm just seeing across the board, a lot of the people I used to watch who did luxury changed direction a while ago. And as I say, for me, I've changed direction for two reasons. The primary reason is I got bored of luxury. I was not prepared to play the games. I was not prepared to pay the prices. Then Dior happened, and that was a nail in the coffin for me. And then in combination with that, me as a content creator, looking at my content, looking at the views to see what you guys are interested in, what you're not, that also told me all I needed to know. I won't make luxury content anymore, you know, as frequently as I was, because no one wants to watch it. But anyway, I would love to get your thoughts on this. And if you are a YouTuber, I would love it if you could leave a comment below. Like, let us know how you're feeling. Are you still into making luxury content? Have you changed direction? Let me know. I would just love to know. I'm sure we all would. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.